What's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new post show here today. We're here just after SummerSlam 2023 is just finished. A very stacked premium live event this year. We had 8 matches on the card, and while many people probably aren't happy with some of the booking, we're going to go into it all. And yeah, so if you are new to bodyslam.net, guys, make sure to subscribe, follow whichever platform you're seeing us on. And yeah, so we're going to jump straight into the matchups. And first of all, we did have Ricochet and Logan Paul kicking things off, looking to create another viral moment. But what do you think, Robin? Do you think they were able to succeed in making a viral moment, or
They they
what's your
made
general thoughts
they
on that?
made they made some good viral moments happen, especially that Spanish fly off the apron and onto the matting outside. I love this match, and it also protected Ricochet in a way that it needed to. If Logan would have won clean off of anything, his finisher, off the 630 fail, I feel like it would have really messed up with Ricochet because we're trying to build him up here. We're trying to keep him good because he's a
Yeah.
premium star. He's a top guy that you can keep building, and you can have guys like Logan Paul learn from. Bringing in the knuckle braces and knocking him out cold like that, the dirty way, the dirty style that you need to use, was perfect for everybody. What were your thoughts on it?
I think the match itself was a really fun matchup. I think athletically, the two men were just on another level tonight. All the spots that they did. I think one thing that a lot of people aren't going to talk about is Logan's buckshot to the outside. There was
The
that
bug
that
shot to the out,
that
the
was
springboard bug shot,
that was
beautiful.
ridiculous. That was a ridiculous move for him to pull out of the bag. We know he can do it. We've seen him do it repeatedly, but this tonight it was just something else entirely. Like he just did it to the outside, and he did it without even flinching. Like you said, the Spanish Fly was a really fun spot as well, where they both landed on their feet, looked at each other, and kind of went hockey punching. And I think the biggest spot that happened in the match, I think a lot of people will say was their favorite spot, was the moonsault land into a power slam countered into a tornado DDT. I think that was one of the best spots um I've seen in a long time.
Logan made it look so easy, and I was
Yeah,
shocked by that the most.
I think I was
Because
shocked a little by Rick.
he's still so young in the game. Of course, he's not had a million matches or 1,000 matches, but every single time he goes out there, of course, he knocks that out of the park. And like people have said prior, anyone can do that if they're only booked up one match every big event. But the fact that he is putting in the work that we see guys like Bad Bunny put in, it's something that we can tip our hats to and be happy about because he's not making the game of professional wrestling look dumb. He's putting his
No.
hard work and his heart into it.
He gets it. He gets it on a level that I don't think some full time wrestlers don't even get it. He just understands how to get a crowd caring about a match. Like we've seen it over and over again with him since he made his debut at WrestleMania 38. Crowds don't take to him. They don't like him. And that's fine because he's able to lean into that and he's able to get fans caring about him. And at the end of the day, that's the number one thing you need to do as a professional wrestler: make the fans care about you, whether they want to see you lose or they want to see you win. You're looking for a reaction, and he gets it every time. And his performances just keep getting better and better. I don't think he's really took a step down since WrestleMania 38. I think every match has been an improvement, and I think this keeps that up. I think Logan in general is someone that I think you can very easily make the claim that he is a prodigy in the sport. As ridiculous as that might sound, he shouldn't be as good as he is. It doesn't matter how athletic he is, it doesn't matter who's training him. He's still got less than a year and a half in the business, and he's already world class at what he does. So and like you said with the brass knuckles, I think that was a perfect finish. Was a absolutely the best possible finish they could have done? Probably not. They probably could have come up with a more intricate finish, but it was simple. It was a simple heel move. It was a regal move, and that's just something that we've noticed with Logan. He picks things up from the business, and he references them. We saw him do bronze power slam and such. I think, like I said, I think he gets it, and I think the finish did protect Ricochet. But I do have to say, Ricochet's sell of the knockout punch was probably one of my favorite sells of the whole show. Just perfect.
I know that Logan has a boxing match coming up, I believe in October.
Mm,
So no idea what he does next WWE wise. He could come back during the Rumble, make another
yeah,
surprise appearance to piss people off, and then build himself into another Mania match. But it'll all be seen as, we move on into the future.
yeah.
Next match was a rubber match. The match to finally end it off. This video package, I'll forever say it's such a masterpiece to watch.
I love it.
The song they chose, the way that this story has gone, and it made so much sense. The reason why it started off was the handshake, the disrespect. Brock not thinking that Cody's ready at all. That's the reason why he was bullying him. The reason why Brock terrorizes and torments people through months is because he doesn't think that they're ready for him until they truly show it. The
Yeah,
first time Extreme Rules it was in Puerto Rico, Cody.
backlash,
Oh,
backlash,
Backlash.
but
My
yeah, backlash,
apologies.
but
So it was like a street fight, wasn't it?
no, the
Or
first match was no. There was no stipulations in any of the matches.
oh,
Surprisingly,
unsanctioned was. Oh no.
no,
So
no. It was sanctioned. It was just every match that's happened has been a singles match, just a standard singles match.
So they build it off of that. The first win with the roll up, and then the second for Brock in Saudi, breaking his arm and constantly terrorizing that. He knew his weakness, and heading into this match, he had to repeat that. I will note this. The first move of the match, Brock doing that German dropping Cody on the top of his head.
Yeah,
Everyone says in interviews whenever they are asked about how do you feel when Brock does a German, and they all say the same thing. Brock doesn't care really for the
he,
well-being for the opponent. He will throw you over on the top of your head, and it's your job to sell it, make yourself safe, and look good with it. And it looked good, but it also looked terrifying as well. Look,
yeah.
and what were your thoughts watching this match? How did you feel about Cody's chances?
I like the way they presented the match because at the end of the day, Cody's character is a never say die character. That's what they're building him as, a typical white collar baby face. He doesn't really have a heelish edge to him like a lot of the faces that
He's so
WWE do.
lovable.
It's not even just that. He's just a very clear cut baby face. It's there's no real shade of grey with Cody. But in terms of the match, at first I thought they were angling to maybe top what happened with Cena in 2014. I thought Brock was going to suplex him over 16 times. I genuinely thought it was because I think he had 9 suplexes in the first like 7 minutes of the match. So I was fully expecting that to happen, but it didn't in the end. I think he got up to 11, 12 maybe. I did like how they presented the early part of the match. I think the way that Brock was kind of just telling them to stay down. It was very effective. I feel like not the start, but the middle part of the match kind of sucked the energy out of the stadium.
When he
But then,
continuously kept knocking him out the ring over and over, and the referee had to keep counting to 8.
yeah, I think that was something that they could have done a slightly better job at managing just to keep the crowd invested. But at the end of the day, they did get the crowd back invested in the match, so you can't really complain about a lull period during a match that intense because, like I said, I think one of the best parts about the match was Cody focusing on Brock's arm, flipping the tables, and pushing him into the post a couple of times, then locking into Kimura. When he put in the Kimura, I genuinely thought Brock was going to tap out, mainly because the way Brock
I
sold it.
I was shocked when he put it in because you look at the arm size for both men, and
Mhm.
it looks like you're trying to carry a watermelon with Brock's
Yeah.
bicep. It's so huge, and I was just like, when's he gonna just lift them up and slam them on the
Yeah.
mat?
There's 3 things in life that are guaranteed: death, taxes, and Brock Lesnar slamming his way out of submission moves. That man is not going to tap, and he's not going to pass out. He passed out the last time I think he lost by submission would have been against Undertaker. I
Yes,
think,
at SummerSlam. Yes,
when he
beautiful
double
match.
birds. Double birds as he passed out. Nothing more Brock Lesnar than that. But in general, I'm happy with Cody winning. I'm happy with the way Cody won with the triple crossroads. That feels like his ultimate like move, almost like Cena doing the avalanche attitude adjustment, Roman and Solo doing the spike and spear combo. It's kind of like almost a final form of the move, and I like that.
It's a
Um,
fatality.
yeah, I like the way that they did call back to the two matches beforehand. Obviously, taking the turnbuckle pad off like they did at Backlash, and then uh, doing the Kimura repeat again, looking like Cody was going to tap and lengthy time in it, but he survived this time. I think that match was just a highly entertaining thriller ride. Don't really have many notes, like I said. I think they could have been a little better on maybe keeping the crowd overly invested in the match. But other than that, there's not really anything I could say about it. I think it was booked perfectly, if I'm being completely honest.
When the crowd fell flat, it got me a little bit worried. But of course, this is billed as a main event, so they're gonna bring us back in.
Yeah.
But Brock beat Cody so bad that even his own shorts got cut open.
Yeah,
That was
that was pretty
that
funny.
was funny. And then when he hit the trifecta of Crossroads and got the pin, I just expected Bray to exit out the ring and
Yeah,
for, you know, Cody just raise his hand. When he got the handshake, the hug, and
handshake.
the
Yeah,
arm raise
yeah,
from him, I
Brock.
was shocked. Like it truly built from the beginning of the story all the way till the end. It was all about the handshake,
It was
all
all about
about
respect.
giving respect. And I don't know where this leads to next for Cody's story. Brock as well, because what does Brock do next?
Yeah,
Who does Brock go against? Omos, maybe, but
not
but
again. Not again. We saw that
we
once.
need
We don't need to see it again. It was a
Survivor
fun
Series,
pre-show match. It was a
Survivor
fun.
Series rematch.
No,
But
but you just made me
Cody
think.
Rhodes, what does he do next? What's his next story?
We
What
know
could
where.
happen with him?
This is the
Because
problem.
he doesn't face Roman, and I'm still hell bent on that Roman story. He doesn't face Roman until WrestleMania. That's not until we get
If
that big rematch. Until then, what does he do? How does he keep himself busy for the next couple of months?
for Cody, the only thing I can think of is someone returning or someone who wasn't drafted earlier. So maybe Bray Wyatt might come back on Raw now. Who
Would
knows?
be
That
smart.
it'd be something different. But like at the end of the day, we don't know what's going to happen. There's no real inkling to what's next for Cody. We don't. Maybe he might be next for Seth. Maybe they might run that back. I don't think they should. But other than that, I really don't see where they go next for Cody. They've done the mini Judgment Day feud. Um, maybe Gunther,
Oof. I don't
but
know because you
that's
don't
a
want to
hard
you don't want to
problem.
burn either of their hype or momentum. You want to keep
Yeah,
them strong, and
but
it'll just all be seen on Monday because tonight
yeah,
is Saturday. Of course, here still, I believe it's Sunday for you,
yeah, Sunday
and
morning for me.
so we still gotta wait until then.
See, there's a lot of clear stories coming out of this show, and we'll get back into that more later. But I think this match, Cody and Brock, I think that is the hardest match to kind of see where they go next. But unless you have anything more to add about that match, do you want to move on
I'm
to the battle
fine.
royal? Okay,
Let's move on to the battle royale.
okay. So Slim Jim Battle Royal won by LA Knight. Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah. So I don't think there's really much to say about this. It was a fun battle royal. I don't think really there was a boring elimination. Every elimination kind of had a story behind it, which
the
was nice
biggest
to see.
pop for me was the Omos one.
Yeah.
Everybody landing their finishers just so they can get him out of there was the best. And in the end, I expected Sheamus to take this. I don't know why,
Mm,
but as soon as LA Knight won it, and then they
yeah.
end and they go to break and then they showed a Slim Jim commercial, I'm just like, they planned this.
Yeah,
This
Feifel
is
did. Yeah, Feifel did
as
say. Sorry. Feifel did say that. Yeah, that's what the battle royale was practically made for, and that's why he won. So
That's funny.
we'll have to see where that goes. But for me, my favorite part about that match was Knight working it as a babyface. It was very clear that he was
Mm-hmm.
working it as a babyface, and when he eliminated Bronson Reed in the age-old way of a babyface dragging the bigger heel out of the ring with the overhook. That was obviously fun. I think the final kind of few moments of the match was a bit weird for me because Cross hung AJ up on the rope to distract him. See, I would have thought Knight would have eliminated him there because obviously he's supposed to be a heel, or rather,
Yeah.
we don't really know anymore. But then Sheamus eliminated him, and that felt a bit odd to me that Sheamus took advantage of that, or at least he didn't even acknowledge that he took advantage of Cross hanging on him. So maybe there's something there. Maybe Sheamus's character is going to get more and more frustrated. Maybe we see him turn on the brutes. I don't know, but I think the biggest part about the battle royal is obviously the fact that Knight finally got his big win. Would have been nice if there was a proper and something on the line, like other than just the bragging rights. Like that's what it was, a question that was asked in the
I
kickoff.
feel
I
like
don't know
he
if you.
should have some gold around his waist. So his momentum and his fire is too high just for
Yeah,
them to be, putting him in spots where we know he outshines it automatically. But I'm happy for him nonetheless. It's good for him to, as well, be the guy for Slim Jim.
yeah.
But who knows what happens next? Hopefully, it is a championship opportunity. I would love to see them take the title off of Theory and crown it onto LA Knight once and for all.
Yeah, so there's not really much else to say about that match. It was a fun little match.
Yep.
Almost, of course, was a surprise entrant in the end with MVP introducing him. I thought that was a little weird that it was wait till the last second to announce that. I feel like I know he's a free agent, but it just
There's
felt
a
really
hole.
late.
There's a hole through my door because when I heard his music, I just slammed right through it because I'm an Homo sapien and we
Of
rise
course,
for these occasions.
fuck's sake. Um, but yeah, I think we're done with that match as well. Um, the match after, I believe, was crap. I can't even remember what match was
I
after
got you, bud.
that.
The
I,
next match was Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey in the MMA rules
I'm gonna
match.
let you lead with this one.
I hate I hate it when they try to incorporate MMA rules into these entertainment of sports because it just never makes any sense to me. The entire time I was watching that, I thought it was Pride at first because of the whole ring and everything. I'm so like, okay, cool. We're getting some Pride rules here. None of that. Um, hello, Astrid.
Hey, Astrid.
But for both women could have honestly put on a good match, a well splendid match actually. But being stuck in this MMA rules match and the sprawling and the rib shots and just trying to grapple with each other, it just it really it felt lame. And I'm not trying to take a dig at either women. They can both kick my ass and they're both amazing at their job. It's just that when we're trying to find the conclusion of a matchup, we're hoping that it brings to us something that they can build off of. This here they can build off of in ways, but it just makes you think to yourself. Shayna chokes out Ronda. She beats the top dog, one of the top dogs in the women's division. Where does she go here next? Does she face Ripley? Does she face Io? Which does it go? Because I just did a spoiler. But which does it go? We because who knows? You know what I mean. What were your thoughts on it?
I think it was. There's nothing wrong with shoot style wrestling. We know
They could
this.
have done that. They could have done
They,
a shoot, but
there's nothing
it
wrong with
didn't
it. We
feel like
know.
it.
Look at the likes like people. I don't know if people on a lot of people get this reference, but Pancrase. Look at Pancrase. Pancrase was
Hmm.
a blend of real fighting and shoot and uh, not stage but worked fights. and that worked. Like there's a very clear distinction. A lot of people know that some of the fights
Mhm.
were real, some of them weren't.
Yeah,
Um,
Shamrock, Rutan,
yeah,
even Minoru Suzuki was part
yeah,
of it.
and so there is a market for it. That being said, Pancrase was at a time when the internet wasn't what it is today, and to this day we still don't know which some fights were real, which weren't. There's still questions about some of them, but moving back to the actual match itself, um, I think it was very clear from the get go that they were trying to recreate it like it was a sparring session almost. It really did feel like Shayna and Rousey were sparring with a plan in mind almost. Like the grappling, everything kind of felt like it was in a real vacuum, but they did it so slowly, like they tried to blend it with wrestling, and it just didn't work. I did enjoy the fact that Shayna uh, did win. Shayna winning, I think, is absolutely the
She
right
needed
call.
it more than anything, and this will truly build herself into the future. Ronda Rousey need to win from this? There's no reason for it. She doesn't need to go for another championship. She's not looking to go into another feud. There's been rumors of, is she even going to be with the WWE in the near future? So what would be the point in taking that feud away from somebody, especially your best friend outside of the business, when you gotta help them out and help out your fellow comrades? So I'm hoping that this does help out Shayna in the future, and to see where this does go next. Does she go after the championship? Does she feud with somebody else to keep building her record? Who knows?
The problem is with the Raw Women's division is that Adam Pearce on television has already said that when Raquel Rodriguez's storyline cleared, she will have the first crack at Rhea. See, that's the problem now. You've got two challengers on Raw. You've got Shayna, you've got Raquel. They both have legitimate reasons to want to challenge for the belt. So what do? You put them in a triple threat match. That's a problem in itself because no one in that match can afford to really take that loss. Do you do a number one contenders match between Raquel and Shayna? What do you do? Because now that EO has cashed in Money in the Bank, that obviously we're going to get back to that later. Anyone who is watching this probably already knows that, but we'll get to that later. And it's a hard decision to make because someone has to take the pin. And let's be real, no one wants Rhea to drop that title yet. No one wants to see Shayna lose emphatically after she just beat Rousey clean. The first person to actually beat her clean as a whistle, by the way. She hasn't lost clean to anyone else. Astrid says, I expected it to be better, especially if it's Ronda's last match. I expected it to be better as well. There wasn't anything really too bad about it, other than the fact that the crowd just weren't into it, which I could understand. It's probably not the best type of match to watch live. Um, but yeah, again, there's not really any clear direction for Shayna unless they extend this feud, which I think they could. I think we could see,
Payback does have a ring to it,
yeah,
for them to keep feuding with each other.
and maybe that's just a standard match, and maybe say Ronda wins the standard match. They flip the script. Ronda wins the wrestling, which is supposed to be Shayna's strong point. Shayna wins
And
in
then
MMA, and then
they
maybe a
book three
2
stages of hell.
three stages of hell, and maybe make it MMA wrestling, and then the final is, I don't know, a submission
Submission
match,
match.
a
Yes,
basic submission match,
that would
something
be
like that.
good.
But other than that, I really don't know what they're going to do with Shayna. I'm like, they're not going to put her into the tag division again. They're very clear that they're pushing her as a single star now. There is one person that she could feud with, and it would be an epic uh, feud if she isn't continuing to run that. We all know, we all heard it, before the show. Kyrie saying it's back with WWE. She's signed back with
And
them.
those two, if we're talking Shayna and Kyrie feuding with each other, they did have a long feud in NXT for the championship.
Banger
I
after
wouldn't I
banger.
wouldn't be against it.
Why not? Shayna comes out. She demands a title shot. She says she wants it. Adam Pearce comes out, says, "Sorry, Raquel's first in line. Yada yada yada. But if you can beat this woman, you will get the next shot." Introduces Kyrie, and the crowd will eat it up. It's that
Pop.
simple. That simple.
And
So,
they'll rise out their seats as soon as they see that elbow drop. I've been
oh,
wanting to see
best
him
elbow
defeat
drop
for
of all
the
time.
longest.
I'm confident saying Kyrie Sane has the best elbow drop in the history of professional wrestling, and I will not feel bad for saying that. But so that's that match covered. So next, I believe, was Drew McIntyre versus Gunther.
Gunther, yes, I will always get hyped for Gunther's entrance.
Yeah,
Every time that Ludwig introduces him, it's this the way he brings him out. This the way that he introduces him and makes sure that we all know who's coming out. It's the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. That word, heavyweight champion, it's beautiful, and it needs to be brought back the importance of the Intercontinental title. The Miz
and the
had
United
made
States
it
style.
so cocky with it and egocentric, and then you bring in Gunther, who is all of that, but he packs it into every single chop he lands.
He does.
What
This
do you
is the
say?
thing that I was. This is the thing that I was talking about with some people during the show. I said, "Look at Gunther's reign. He's held the title for over a year. Can you think in your mind any time, any match, any title match? Mind he might have done, he might have in a non-title match or in a multi-man match or whatever. But can you think of him not winning a match clean? Now, not to say that he hasn't taken advantage of something, like he attacked Riddle before their match at Money in the Bank, hurt his ankle, yada yada yada. That kind of thing. But can you really remember? Because as far as I can remember, I can't remember him winning a match during this reign that wasn't clean. He was brutal, he was emphatic, and he brutalized people. But I do not remember him cheating once, and I think that's an important part of this reign because if you look at how long he's held that title, over 400 days now. Look how quick Roman had to resort to cheating in the reign that he's still doing to this day. He was already cheating against Jay in
Mm-hmm.
his first title defenses. He cheated against KO. He cheated against Edge and Danielson. He cheated. He's just cheated all the time. But Gunther, the mat is sacred. Is something that is worked into his gimmick. He is a heel. He is a clear as day heel, but he doesn't cheat. And I think that is something that is very important to Gunter, his entire gimmick. And that's what made this match tonight, I think, really interesting because he had literally the hardest test in front of him. Didn't try to cheat once. Hung him up on the top rope, hit the splash, hit the lariat, powerbomb, and just pinned him.
And when I was looking at these two stand face to face with each other, I was looking at that size. Drew has size on him, and I'm not trying to discredit anything Gunther's done with his weight loss and everything, but it's you look at him and you think
He's
to
still
yourself,
big.
okay, Drew might have the advantage on him, like a slight advantage, and it all like I said, all it takes is a chop. All he has to
He
do is
knocked.
chop your life away, and he will knock the air out your body. He will put you down, and he will keep doing it until you give up. And those final moments of the match, I was truly thinking to myself, okay, perhaps they do an opportunity here where Drew's the guy, where Drew can be the one to end it all. And then
Yeah.
Gunther continues to prove me wrong. I thought the same way when Sheamus faced him at the Clash. I thought the same way when Drew and Sheamus fought Gunther at Mania. And even tonight, I thought to myself, this is it. This could be the moment where the end of Gunther's reign, and he just won't give it up. That I'm truly thinking to myself, I think he main events night one of WrestleMania. I'm thinking that deep into the future. He's that big. He's that good. That's the only way that you can make him, in a way, lose a championship. If you even think about making him lose a title, he will get so far, that deep, it's just so perfect at what he's doing. And look at Drew. I saw that earlier today. They said he still doesn't have a new deal with WWE, and he already has credited out and said that he has no problems with WWE. He has no beef at all. He loves hearing about it. He loves seeing what people say online about what he's doing, but that he's happy with what he's doing here. And who knows? Who knows where they lead him into next? Because at Payback, do they do a rematch? Does Gunther defend the gold there? What happens next? What do you think?
I think they made it very clear that after the match that Drew did not seem happy. He did not seem like he felt like it was over. They did focus on him a lot. They focused on Gunther. Obviously, he put the title around his waist. He studied his pose in the ring, and he looked like every bit the champion he is. But they did, of course, track back with Drew, and Drew did have a little expression on his face. He was holding his midsection. He very clearly was not happy. Um, Obviously with Drew, he's a constant professional, so I don't think that was him sulking or anything like that. I think that was just part of the story, and I think yes, I think a rematch will happen, but I'm unsure of how they're going to sell it because obviously that's the second time now Gunther has beaten Drew clean. And I don't think Drew can afford to lose back to back premium line of live events. But I also do not want him to take the title off Gunther because even if Gunther does become the longest reigning champion, I don't want him to lose it straight away. I want him to hold it a little longer, make it maybe 500 days, even get him to 500 days, then start thinking about who you're going to dethrone him. Because once he's dethroned, we know exactly where he's going, right into the main event scene. I predict he will be world heavyweight champion by WrestleMania 41. I believe he will be. I believe he could easily win the Rumble. I believe he could easily beat Roman. I believe he could easily beat Seth. He could be any number of whoever's champion in either division. It could be Priest. It could be anything. And Gunther will have a banger and he will become champion. I think the company obviously has great faith in him. There's a reason he's been champion for he's the third longest reigning champion, intercontinental champion, and he's closing in on that record every day. So in terms of what's next, I imagine it will be Drew, but I would like to see a fresh matchup. Who exactly? There's a lot of options. Like I said earlier, Cody maybe, but again, that I don't think that would be good for either of them. That's something maybe to revisit back down the line, and maybe Finn. Maybe Finn turns his attention to Gunther.
I would love to see AJ Styles.
Yeah, Styles is on SmackDown though. That's the issue. So Balor's on.
We can
The way
make
I
it
see it,
happen.
Balor's on Raw. It's very clear that his story with Seth is over. They're going to be more focusing on. I don't know. I don't think they're going to kick anyone out of Judgment Day. I don't think. Well, we'll get back to Balor later. Anyway, but in terms of Gunther, I really don't know what's next for him. If it's not Drew, I hope it's someone fresh, and I hope it's a good matchup for him. Other than that, I don't really have much else to say about that match.
Yeah,
And you?
I'm fine. I'm content.
Okay, so then what do you know? I was just talking about him. We're going straight in to Finn Balor and Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. And this was a match that frustrated me a little, but also I kind of get it. But I'll let you go first on this one, seeing as I was first on the last one.
If someone told me that 7 years ago it would take 7 years for these two to rematch and for this to be this long-standing feud ever since that injury, that horrible night where Finn Balor suffered that brutal shoulder injury after winning the Universal Championship during his matchup, which caused him to vacate the belt. If someone told me 7 years later that we would be seeing the rematch, I wouldn't believe you. Just like the main event, I wouldn't believe you if you told me Jay was facing Roman. But here we are, and in this moment where I did like how Finn incorporated some of his gear that he did have from that night, and same with Seth. Seth coming out with the vest, which
Yeah,
honestly broke my heart because that night was just so terrible to see that happen. And just when I didn't see Demon Balor, I automatically thought to myself, yeah, Seth's winning. There's no way around it. I don't even think a cash in will happen. And prior to that, during the pre-show, everybody on the panel was saying that it was gonna be Finn's night to take it, and I'm just like, have they been watching the same wrestling I've been watching? Seth one-on-one is unbeatable. He is unstoppable. There is no way that they're going to take the championship off of him when he has so much hype towards it. The only way would be a cash in, and I just don't ever see a cash in happening during his reign, unless it comes to the next briefcase winner. But heading into this, the heart that Finn was even showing during it, because we all know how deeply he wanted this, how
Yeah.
badly it was on his mind. And then when you see the Judgment Day get involved and Damien constantly teasing with the briefcase over and over, trying to hand it to Finn. I think he did it 2 or 3 times,
Yeah.
and just like baseball, third time, third strike, you're out. And it got a curb stomp from from Seth Rollins to Finn headfirst into that briefcase, which took the pin, took the win, and retained the championship for him. Where I was also shocked where we didn't see a cash in, because the whole
Hmm.
night I was just thinking to myself, how does Damien fit into all of this? Does he do it? Does he just let Finn win the championship if he does do it? Or what happens? How did you feel when the
I felt
final pin was made?
I felt like the match delivered. I feel like the match was incredible. It was a lot of fun. It was a roller coaster. The near falls were brilliant as ever with Finn and Seth. The finish itself for me, I really did want Finn to win. I thought it would made the most story sense for Finn to win. I didn't like that he didn't come out as the demon. I know that they're trying to kind of not protect the demon, but obviously because he did lose at WrestleMania 39. But I feel like this story called for it because that's how the first match went. If you're going to put so much emphasis on that match, if you want Seth to win, then fine, have him exercise that demon literally and let him beat Demon Balor, the same man who beat him, not just Finn Balor, Demon Balor. I felt like it was a very I don't think it was an absolute must-have, but I feel like they really did drop the ball in that story. In terms of, like I said, the finish itself, it did seem a bit strange. It's almost like they don't want to clearly show one way or another, between Priest and Balor who's going to be at fault, because obviously there's going to be more tension. They exchanged looks. They shook their heads at each other. So I imagine it's going to come to a head on Monday. Again, we're going to get a lot of argument between the two. The question is if if Balor's going to leave, or if Priest's going to leave, or if anyone's going to leave. I don't know what they're going to go with that, but again, that's a good thing. As far as Seth is concerned, there's a whole Raw roster there already. Maybe we'll see some kind of number one contender match on Monday as well for Payback, or maybe we'll get one more time. Finn will go against Seth. Maybe one more time. Maybe this time they will build it as Demon Balor against Seth one last time. Maybe they'll put a stipulation on it that if Balor wins or loses, he can't challenge Seth for the rest of his reign. Maybe they'll do something silly like that. But either way, I don't think this feud is necessarily over. But if it is, I just want to see Seth with more fresh matchups.
I can agree with you, and I can say the same thing.
Yeah.
Our next matchup, are we good with this one? We're good.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, but with that, yeah.
Our next matchup for the WWE Women's Championship. Sorry, I said that right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The WWE Women's Championship. It was Asuka defending the gold against Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair. A lot of people speculated in the middle of this match that Bianca had been injured, and I was
It
like,
looked like
I feel
yeah.
like I was like, I feel like we're getting worked, brother. And the whole time I kept, even when she was walking away and she was falling down, I'm like, we're getting worked here. This is it. She's gonna come back in. And when she hit that 450 splash off the top rope, I'm surprised that wasn't the end. I'm truly shocked that was not where you called the match off there. But they built it towards the end. They built it with the finish. She pinned Charlotte Flair. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, she pinned Oscar on a roll up.
She pinned Oscar off the roll up,
Okay.
and
Okay.
20. All it took was what,
Yeah.
20 seconds for her to celebrate.
Yeah. Before EO's music hit.
And as soon as that
There
music
was
hit, that crowd pop in Detroit, the biggest party of the summer, had a pop huge for the
yeah.
cash in of EO Sky. She come. I did love how Bailey hit Charlotte over the head with a briefcase. Just let that happen. Let that simmer in. Like, you're not gonna get involved whatsoever. No one's gonna get involved. And it did shock me a bit because for some reason I continuously kept thinking that Bailey was going to turn on
Yeah.
EO, and it could still happen. It's still up in the air. People,
Oh yeah.
your friends could be the most vengeful people possible, and they could try to take away anything that you love. And we could see that with this instance. But at that moment, when she hit that over the moonsault and got that pin, everybody in the arena was the happiest person, even Bianca. Deep down inside, that whole division
She
is the
had.
happiest because they saw that year-long run of what Io's been able to do and how she's been able to put herself over even during losses. A year ago, she came in to SummerSlam, her main roster debut, alongside Dakota Kai and their leader Bailey for Damage Control. And throughout the months that have progressed, everybody said to themselves, with the loss and the loss and the loss that they kept suffering, even the big loss at WrestleMania, when is it going to be the time where this team just disbands, that they get tired of it and they turn on each other?
Yeah.
And there was speculation, there was tease, there was rumors, there was tension, there was all of that. But this moment, this night, 1 year later, and it came for the right moment where EO got that shiny moment. Everyone knew that she deserved it. And for
Yeah.
months, everyone thought Bailey was going to win that championship gold. And I'm just so happy to see EO finally get that recognition and that spot that she deserved. What were your thoughts when you saw that cash in?
I think then the finish itself for the triple threat was fantastic. I actually really liked it. It was unique, and I will admit I got completely worked by Bianca, mainly because when she did fall and she started screaming, she sounded like she was being her leg was being amputated. That is how bad that sounded to me. I thought she was Bianca Belair is great at everything apparently, even selling. But like you said, she did come back to the match. And the finish itself, I did enjoy. I thought it was a bit. I liked that Asuka didn't even try to hide it. Obviously, she didn't have to. It wouldn't cause disqualification for using the miss. Blew it right in Charlotte's face. Charlotte dropped the figure eight, but she kept the figure four in, which again really fun, especially with Bianca's knee. Bianca then rolls up as Asuka while still in it, and then, like you
Yes,
said,
that's what now that was
yeah,
beautiful. That end was beautiful.
and the thing is, as well, you said she only had 20 seconds to celebrate. At least 15 seconds of that was she was still in the submission. Oscar was going crazy, but Bianca was still caught in it. And I think that was intentional, obviously, to damage her leg even more for EO's cash in. And I did really like you said, Bailey took the briefcase. She made sure EO didn't get hit at all. No risk for EO. EO was going to get a clean run in, and for me, it almost felt like Bailey was trying to make up for what happened at Money in the Bank when she tried to turn on, when she pushed EO off the ladder initially. EO got her revenge, of course, but obviously there was trust issues. But Bailey did what she had to do in the end, and she helped EO capture the gold. Like you did say, it was really nice to see Dakota Kai back after. Obviously, she's nowhere near ready to turn to action, but it was really nice to see her be there for her friend. and Damage Control all having that group hug after. I think when it comes to Io, the sky's the limit, no pun intended. But she is an absolutely incredible performer. I love that Michael Cole made a reference to Stardom, which was really fun. And yeah, I don't know what's coming next in the women's division. It could go anyway. It could go 4-way. It could go Io versus Asuka. It could go Io versus Bianca. It could go another triple threat. It could go Bailey. We don't know. But I think the SmackDown women's division now and the Raw women's division have options, which is obviously a good thing for us. But like has been trending, WWE women do deserve better. So hopefully WWE will actually make use of this potential. I don't really have much else to say on the cash-in or the women's match, other than what we've already said. The match itself was fun. The cash-in was perfectly booked.
I'm happy with what I've said, and I just want to give them a standing ovation because they all deserve the best recognition. They deserve all the respect in the world. Women of WWE.
Yeah, and yeah, so that's
And
that.
the
And
main the
finally,
main
tribal combat.
event of the evening. Oh
Tribal
man,
combat.
heading into this one, we already knew our emotions were going to be poured all over a dinner plate, and it was going to not be a fun night, whether you were acknowledging the tribal chief or you were part of main event Jey Uso's squad to make sure that he walked in there and he walked out the new Universal Champion. And they said prior to this that there would be no interferences, that there would be
On the
nothing
company
to stop.
website.
Exactly. There would be nothing to prevent these two from having a clean fight. And as the match progressed, Roman had the upper hand. Jay got a big advantage over him. And as soon as they went outside, they went into the crowd. They were fighting each other. What's this? The little brother of Jimmy and
Solos
Jay.
there.
Here comes Solo Sikoa. Like, and he whooped on Jay for a couple of minutes. They
Yeah.
brought him back out to the ring. That didn't help them at all. It didn't help survive him there. Jay gets the upper hand, almost lost it for a moment, speared Roman through the barricade, almost got put through the announce table, countered that on Solo, gets Roman into the ring, hits the splash. 1, 2. Oh, what's this? A mystery person pulls him out of the ring. Come to find
Just
out, the hooded man, once they reveal themselves, by a couple of seconds, the older brother, Jimmy Uso, screwing over his brother, his twin brother. I had not felt this kind of heartbreak from a brother turning on each other since Royal Rumble 2009, my first ever Royal Rumble. I was the happiest Jeff Hardy fan walking into that one, and him facing off against Edge, the rival, was the biggest night of that career. And what happened? Matt Hardy turned on his brother Jeff. And what do we get here? Once again, an older brother turning on. And many people asking why. Why would he do this? Why would he do this for Roman? And the thing is, he didn't. He did. He did this because of jealousy. He was jealous of main event Jey Uso's rise while he was injured. He was jealous that he wasn't the right hand man. He was jealous that he wasn't the guy selected to be that top dog, to be the next tribal chief. It was Jey Uso who got that opportunity. And just like most older brothers, they get jealous, they get angry, they think that revenge and retaliation is the best resort instead of being proud of their blood. And that's what we witnessed tonight. Give me your
I to be honest, it was just yeah, like I said, like we said, it was put on literally on. They never mentioned it on TV, so I assume that's where they're gonna retcon this. But like I said, I literally covered it earlier in the week for Body Slam. They said on the official website that tribal combat would be no interference. That was the big thing. That was supposedly why Roman took it so heavy. That's supposedly why he stopped Solo the first week. That was supposedly why this, and this. And then that just went all out the window. No logic, nothing. Solo interferes. Okay, we expected that. Jay overcomes the odds. He starts overcoming the odds. He literally has the match won, and then his brother costs him. And yes. I get it. I get it. Okay. He's supposed to be jealous of Jay. But here's the problem with being jealous. It is the
Mm-hmm.
exact reason for every single sibling goddamn rivalry that has happened in this company. Name me a sibling rivalry that didn't get
Mm-hmm.
kickstarted by jealousy. I dare you. Because you know why? Because all of them are. Owen and Brett, Nikki and Brie, fucking the Hardys, literally all of them. It's always jealousy. Why can't they just have some betrayal
I
where it's
forgot
not
about
jealousy?
the Bellas. Thank you for reminding me.
Why not? Because you know what? Her saying that she should have died in the womb is still better than WWE going out and saying, you know what? This match can't have interferences. Oh, wait, yes, it can. It makes no goddamn sense. And I get that he's supposed to be jealous. But Roman still did all those horrible things to Jimmy. Solo still turned on him. Solo fucking put him through an announce table and in kayfabe destroyed his ribs. Like I just jealousy only should go so far in a storyline, and I feel like that Jimmy's jealousy should have been outweighed by his desire to see Roman fall. I do not think, and again, this is my problem. Where the fuck was Sami Zayn? Why didn't Sami Zayn come to Jay's help? Like does no one like none of this makes sense. And again, I just feel like this reign has really just ran its course, but it doesn't look like it's slowing down, and it's so infuriating to watch them have option after option, and they're just like, you know what? We're just going to keep doing all these anticlimactic title defenses where he cheats and he gets away with it over and over again until we decide, you know what? Maybe we should put the title back on someone who's going to be here every week. But yeah, as you can tell, not a big fan of that finish.
I called it like 3 weeks ago. I was talking to some good friends of mine, and I thought to myself, I was like, the next pay per view is Payback. What better way to set up a main event than by having Jimmy turn on Jay? And they're like, in your dreams, whatever you say, buddy, that's not gonna happen. Boom. I'm a fly on the wall. Whenever they're writing the script in the creative room, I'm there. I'm listening. I
Apparently,
know everything that's gonna happen. I just don't reveal until the last 10 minutes or the first 10 minutes of a match. I tell people,
yeah,
hey, I think this might happen. Boom, it happens. And just the heartbreak that you gotta that still fans are reeling with. Everybody who was
yeah,
in attendance when they saw that splash, they're like, that's it. We got ourselves a new chance. The match that we're gonna get now. Nope, nope, it's not gonna happen. But I, it kind of like you can tell things were going to, not go Jay's way because why would Roman defend that payback? I would have there. There would be no reason. So, and you build him into Survivor Series, you could do that. Hell, I've been thinking to myself, what happens if Survivor Series or Royal Rumble is that day or that event where he finally defends against The Rock, the Dwayne? We never know. But Solo with tonight, with teasing like, he wasn't fully on Roman's side, could that lead into the Survivor Series matchup being Solo versus Roman in
yeah.
another tribal combat matchup? It could be. It could. Roman ain't losing the championship until they get to WrestleMania. And
I don't
until they
think
get to
so either now.
WrestleMania, there's not a single person I'm putting against him. Because we gotta
Gotta start protecting
we
people.
gotta truly think person the only person I can think of is the one that's becoming himself. That's got a documentary about it this week. And I just truly hell-bently feel that it'll be Cody Rhodes who is the man to stop the tribal chief. He ended up in that ring, that horrible night actually, and was just in the worst pain possible. It beats off Brock, pause, and now gets himself into whatever opportunity going facing next. A good night.
Yeah.
Overall, honestly, a really good SummerSlam. I enjoyed it from start to finish. They gave me moments that I can reflect on and remember as, oh, this happened, that happened.
Yeah.
It was still an overall good night for me that I can be excited heading into Friday Night SmackDown when Jimmy he addresses the crowd and says why he did things, and for Monday
If
to see
he's
what happens with the Judgment Day, to see what happens with Cody. Just go on.
if Jimmy does an all you people promo, I think I'm going to scream. If he does an all you people promo and blames
All
fans,
you
I think I might
people
cry.
are the reason why I turned on my brother. All
If
you
that happens,
people
I'm just
turned your back on me before I turned your back on you.
at that point. I think I'll just that's just going to be my facial reaction. And but yeah, it like I said, the match itself wasn't bad. I had no problem with the match itself. The match itself was fun. It's just I just don't like how Roman can't even win one goddamn match on his own anymore. He hasn't. I don't even remember the last time he won a match clean. Cody wasn't clean anyway. We know that. But yeah, like you said, overall the show was really fun. I think the highlight for me was definitely EO cashing in and becoming champion. I thought that was a really fun moment. And other than that, I think, like you said, it was a really good card, a lot of great moments. And I don't really have any major, like I said, other than the main event. I feel like the swerve was a bit not forced, but a bit just I just didn't like it. But that's it for SummerSlam. So if you want to say anything before we sign off, do you want to say anything before we sign off, Rami?
Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for hearing our thoughts on this event. And thank you for enjoying what we bring to the table. And hopefully, we can continue this trend. Hopefully, we can bring in more post shows and we can talk more about our thoughts and about what we think is going to happen in the future. Because I obviously, not in a cocky way, never think I'm wrong. I think I'm that fly on the wall. I think I know
Yeah,
what the hell is going to go on every single chance I get. But that's always a great thing to keep it on video because whenever I'm wrong, at least people can be like, hey, we called you out here, buddy. But it's a good thing. It's a great thing. And I'm so happy that people
yeah,
tuned in. I'm so happy that people gave their comments and whatever they needed to
yeah,
say. I'm glad that we were able to vent and rant about after that crazy
yeah,
night. The biggest party that summer in Detroit went off in the craziest way possible. And I'm
yeah.
happy about it. Good
Yep,
night.
it was a very fun show, guys. That's going to be it for this post show. Like Rami said, we're going to try and make this a bit more consistent. For we'll maybe we might be back for Raw on Monday. I'm not sure. Rami, would you be around for Monday? Or
Perhaps.
either way, guys, if you want to keep up to date on if we are going to do that, you can follow me at Corey Brennan BS. You can see that there. You can see Rami's handle also, who was for Rami. You can follow the Bodyslam social media at bodyslam.net. And if you want to go and check out all the results and maybe a closer look at each match, you can go to the website and you can check out all of our editorials. Rami actually did a really good Jey Uso piece prime previously before Money in the Bank, and I've been writing more editorials lately as well. So make sure to go check all those out, guys, and make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the Body Slam YouTube if that's where you're watching it. Maybe you've just stumbled across our channel. Make sure to subscribe, and yeah, guys, we'll see you guys maybe on Monday, maybe Wednesday, who knows? But we'll see you guys next time. Deuces.